Hi my beautiful people, so welcome once more to my channel. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make a yoke with keyhole. Yes, as you can see on the screen right now, I'll show you how to make a v-neck that has a keyhole. So let's get started. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. So I want this yoke to be about 6 inches. I don't want it to revealing, so which means the upper side is going to be 6 inches. I've gone ahead to cut my princess dart that I will attach it to. So for that reason, I'm going to be taking 7 inches for the length of this yoke. 7 inches. I'll make sure that I take 7 inches. I have more than 7 years, so I'm going to trim to make it 7 inches. And I like taking excess to be on the safer side, but because I am going with 6 inches, I'll go ahead and take 7 inches for my allowance. Half an inch to attach it to the downside, that is my bustier, and half an inch to also join at the neck area. So I'm going ahead to trim it to make sure that I have that 7 inches, to make sure that everything is accurate. So go ahead and do your go ahead and draft your yoke if you want to, or you can put it on your fabric directly. But I'm doing this because I want to avoid having this bulge at the front, so I want to make it fitted. That means I'll be taking off some inches, just like I'm taking for my dart. So for the dart, I'm taking 4.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and I'm going to be taking off some inches, which is I'm going to be manipulating the dart to give me what I want at the end of the day. So that's the reason why I'm using this pattern paper. As I'm using this pattern paper. So after drawing this line, I just went ahead to take I'll take 1 inch for the downside for both places, and I will also take half an inch for the upper side. I will connect this 1 inch to this upper side. The reason why I'm doing this is to make sure that after taking my yoke, I'm not going to have any excess or any bulge or any excess fabric coming out at the tip or at the edge of the yoke. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but you know all those clothes we make and then you see some places bulging out. I don't want that. I just want it to fit perfectly on my clients. So I'm going to take off this dart, which is to take it off, or if you can fold it, you can go ahead and fold it to close the dart. It's just for fitting. Or if you don't want to go through the process of doing this dart in order for it not to confuse you, you can just draw your yoke and give it a slant from the armhole. You just, where your armhole is going to be, just go up by 1 inch and give it a slant to your center front. So I'll be closing the dart right now with my masking tape. Then I can now cut my yoke, my v-neck yoke, and my keyhole. So this is it. I've closed it. Now I'll be taking my shoulder measurement. The shoulder I'm using is 8 on fold. 16 is the shoulder. Because my fabric is on fold, I made it 8, and then I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. So remember that this is 7, is 7 in length, so you just have to be careful because you're already removing 1 inch from the shoulder. After doing this procedure or this pattern, you will see that one side of your pattern is a bit higher than the other side. Like the side connecting to the armhole will be kind of up, so it's going to be slanted. So the neck, I'm going to take 4 inches for the width. I'm drafting the v-neck now, 4 inches for the width, and then I'll come down to almost the end of this yoke. So for the keyhole, I'm taking 3.5 inches because that is where I want it to be, 3.5 inches from the center, 3 inches upwards. I don't want it to be too big, so I'm taking 3 inches upwards, 3.5 inch. I also want it to kind of correspond with the darts on my princess bustier later. That's why I'm doing this. So 3 inches upwards, and I'm taking 3.5 inches from the center. So this part of it is going to be 1 inch after I finish sewing it, which means I'm going to be adding allowance to that particular side when I'm cutting on my fabric. So I took 1 inch from the center, one inch, 1.5 inch rather, for the other side, and I'll connect it. So if you want your own to be smaller, you can make it smaller. If you also want your own to be wider, you can make it wider. Just to get this particular side of it, and you're good to go. So because when cutting it, my fabric is going to be on fold, I just drafted rather at one side, so it's going to show on both sides after cutting it on fabric. Even for my pattern, I actually folded my pattern, so after cutting this out, you're going to see how it looks like. So this is it. It's already in 2 pieces. Oh, because I actually glued this thing together, I couldn't take it out, but it's already in 2 pieces. I'll just go ahead and I'll cut it on my main fabric and show you what it looks like. Alright, so I'll be cutting it on my fabric right now, and I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch allowance to every corner you are seeing. Apart from the armhole, I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch allowance to this. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is what it's going to look after sewing it. So you can see the measurement is 16, just like the shoulder. That means the shoulder is correct. I'll go ahead and cut a lining for this, but I'll be using the same fabric for it, just the exact same fabric. I'll also cut the back. All right, I'm done cutting. I'm going to be gumming an estate to it. You can use anything you want. So I've gone ahead to gum the estate to the back and to the front. I'll be sewing right now on it. So while sewing, I'll be using this hemming gum because I want that edge to be very flat and neat. So I'll be sewing alongside with that hemming gum. Same with the front yoke. I'll make sure that I sew alongside the hemming gum on this V part, the keyhole and the V neck. Okay, I'll just go on my machine and start joining it. I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, so this is it. This is the front and then the back. I had to join the shoulders too neatly. So this is what it looks like. Just go on and iron very well. I'll be adding a button to the back, just one button. So I just did my loop. I attached it alongside as I was sewing the back. So give it a good press as I'm doing right now, and then you can see the front and the back. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm just trying to make sure my measurement is accurate. So I'm going to trim whatever part that needs to be trimmed, and I'll place it on the main bodies to sew, to join it together. After joining it, I'll show you. Please be very careful when you are attaching this to the main bodies. Make sure it doesn't pull out, or just make sure it's on point. Yes, if you need to sew on it, especially that side that has a v-neck, you can go ahead and just sew on it and use your pins also. Otherwise you might not like the outcome and you just have to loosen and try all over again. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Beautiful, right? I already attached the yoke to the bodies for the back and front. I'll go ahead and close the side, attach the downside of it, attach the sleeve, and I'll show you the outcome. Okay, so this is how it looks like on my client. Thank you for joining. Bye.